Keeping excellence in mind, where the coach can unwind. And if you parents need advice, well, don't think twice. For everything you need to know, it's the Dr. Casey Show. The Dr. Casey Show.
So passionate and committed to coaching issues?
Well, I, like a lot of people who get into sports in a big way, I kind of stumble into it. But the bigger picture is, let's just say that, there's a new presidential administration, a lot of changes. Let's just say that people are going to say, we're going to create a fantastic character education program for kids. It's going to be all across the country. How would we go about doing that? Well, first of all, we need to have facilities for the program to operate in. We need to have volunteers to work with the kids. We need to have parents committed to getting their kids to the program. And then we'd have to have a program that kids are actually excited about being part of.
Oh, yeah, that's the kicker, isn't it?
The reality is, yeah, absolutely. The reality is we have all those things, and it's called youth sports. The only thing that's missing is coaches and parents who see themselves as character educators. Mm-hmm. So I really got started with Positive Coaching Alliance. Let's keep adults from doing bad things to kids that drive them out of sports.
Right.
But the positive aspect of it is, if we can get coaches and parents to think of themselves as character educators rather than as mini Bill Belichick kind of coaches,
right.
Wow, this is going to be a fantastic character education program.
Yeah, it does have all the elements that we need. I mean, youth sports naturally presents all the elements that you mentioned. And I see it, and I'm sure you see it, but I see it in my office. And these kids, you're right, around the age of 12 or 13, we're losing them to organized sports because, they tell us it's not fun anymore. And where did that come from? It didn't come from the other kids.
I'm old enough, and I grew up in North Dakota. In fact, I was listening to your promo about the nonprofit thing you're working with, and I know she had Darren Erstead on, or he's going to be part of this thing. And Darren is also a North Dakota kid. I remember watching him play basketball in the high school basketball tournament in North Dakota years ago. But the thinking about my experience in North Dakota, it was just kids. We almost never had any adults telling us what to do. Mm-hmm. The dads who, sometimes you needed a dad to coach, but we knew more about baseball than the dad did. That, what I call the golden age of sandlot ball, which may not have been quite as golden as I remember it being, it's gone. We can't have that anymore. And so what we got to do is try to replicate that, to give parents and coaches a framework and tools so they create leaders out of kids, mm-hmm. kids who just can't wait to go to practice, kids who are going to grow up to be happy, successful, contributing members of society.
Right. Right, because that is something that they're going to take with them lifelong, the reality of what small percentage of athletes are going to create a professional career in sports. I mean, it's so small that parents lose focus on what they should be taking that's going to last them a lifetime. So I'm really, really pleased with the messages, everything I've ever read that you've put out. I've been so pleased with. And I wanted to ask you, because my favorite part of this book, the Positive Sports Parenting book, when did this just first become available? When did this come out?
1st of December, so it's a little over a month old only.
All right. My favorite part of it is something that's not new. I don't think that it's new, but you state it so eloquently, and it's the section on transforming culture of youth sports, and it's where you identify the role of the coach as being the double goal coach, where they understand exactly what you're talking about, the life lessons part. That's the coach's role, winning, but also not at the expense of the life lesson. And then how you identify the triple impact competitor, how someone needs to see themselves and their teammates and the game beyond the playing field. And then finally, the second goal parents who understand that their only goal should be the life lesson part and the character development part. It's a language. I wanted to ask you, how did you come up with a way of identifying it in such clear terms?
Well,
where did that come from?
I joke whenever I ever give talks and stuff around the country. I joke and say, I'm from Northern California and I do like granola, but I'm really a pretty competitive guy. Competition is not the problem. We live in a competitive world, and kids need to learn to compete. So when I first started Positive Coaching Alliance about 10 years ago, I was really struggling with, how do we communicate to coaches and parents out there that we're not anti-competitive?
Mm-hmm.
And really, a lot of my good ideas come when I'm out jogging. I would a few years ago I would have said running, but now it's slowed to a jog. And this idea came to me that winning is a little bit less than 50% of the goal.
Right.
Winning is important. Trying to win, preparing your team to win is important. It's just there's something even more important, and I love what Phil Jackson, our national spokesperson, says. Not only is there more to life than basketball, there's more to basketball than basketball. So that idea of the double goal coach, so we go into to do workshops, and we did 1,400 live workshops around the country last year, including quite a few in Southern California. And you go in there often to coaches who don't want to be there. They're kind of pressured by their league, or maybe even told by their league that they have to be there, which I think is a good thing. So we've got to win them over, and the first thing we talk about is this double goal model. We're not anti-competitive. We're not against winning.
Right.
It's just that while you're trying to win, look at all the opportunities to teach life lessons.
So this came to you when you were jogging.
That's exactly right.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And you know what? I think that speaks to just how natural this type of leadership role is for you. And I was speaking with, actually, we've got a member of your team in the studio, and he's going to be joining us later on in the show. But we were talking about how many parallels there are between your experience and the way you view life is very Wooden-esque. And we were trying to think, I was thinking, maybe it's the teacher in you. What do you think about that?
Well, I learned very long ago, one of the things we talk about with triple impact competitors, athletes who make themselves better, make their teammates better, and make the game better, the key to all that is having a teachable spirit.
Mm-hmm.
That we tell athletes, it would be really nice if your coach would give you feedback and coaching and criticism in a really positive way, and we're working with them to do that. But if you have a teachable spirit and your coach is yelling at you, you can still say, okay, I don't like his yelling at me, but is there something here I can take away that can make me better? And I learned a long time ago that learning is fun. There's nothing more enjoyable. Well, I'm not going to say that. It's one of the most enjoyable things in life. And the best way to learn something is to try to teach it to somebody, because so often, I'm sure you know this as well, you think you understand something, and you try to explain it to somebody, and you realize, geez, I didn't quite get it right. So teaching and learning, for me, just go hand in hand.
Right, yeah, teaching first, I think, and then your ability to translate all these other messages through your teaching role with that hat on. I couldn't help but notice that similarity between you and some of the greats, and I don't know if it is necessary to really be yelling to get your message through. Do you help coaches to understand that as well?
Oh, absolutely. We talk about the idea that sometimes you have to have hard conversations with athletes, not trying hard or whatever. But we have this idea of the emotional tank. Every kid, every person really, every kid has an emotional tank that's like the gas tank in a car. Mm-hmm. And if your gas tank is empty, you're not going to drive very far. You got to fill it up.
Right.
Kids' emotional tanks need to be filled up. And we teach coaches how to do that, and how to give what we call kid-friendly criticism, or for older kids, we call it receivable feedback. You can give the best criticism, the best coaching in the world. If the kid is resistant to it and doesn't take it, it's not going to work.
Right.
So you fill up a kid's emotional tank with truthful and specific recognition of what they've done, and then sometimes you just have to have a hard conversation with them and say, this is not good enough. And if you've filled their tank, if they've come to trust you, that you care about them, and you've been filling their tank with the positive things they're doing, they're open to hearing that hard conversation.
Right, yeah, because I actually was able to use that empty tank metaphor just last week in my office. And you could have, and let me expand on that metaphor if I could for a moment, because you could be a Lamborghini. And you could have all the tools that you need to really take to the road and be the fastest car out there. But if you don't have the gas, you're going to be broken down the side of the road.
Yep.
So I think it's important to understand the role that the emotions do play, even in the most elite athletes. And I can back up what you're saying 110%, because when you have an anxious athlete who is that Lamborghini and has all the physical tools and the technical tools, if they are so anxious because they're worried about what's going to be said or how they're going to be